Hey, what's going on, everybody? So I'm in the Garden of the Gods right now, and I'm currently filming a different video. But since I'm here, I kind of wanted to test out some focus stacking. And focus stacking is pretty much just placing different photos on top of each other that are focused differently, where every single object in the entire frame is in focus. And it gives a really cool look to your photos. So I kind of wanted to just try it out and just kind of see how it goes. I have this spot just right over here that I think will look pretty cool. But I've never done it before, so I really just wanted to try it out. But I'm gonna take you like step by step through the whole process. First shooting, and then we'll go back to the house and get everything edited and just see how it turns out. All right, so I think I've got the framing that I want, and pretty much to do this, all you have to do is select a focus point. And one thing that I forgot to mention is you do need a tripod for this. Absolutely 100%, the camera needs to stay in one place the entire time. I've tried to do it handheld and it looks horrible. It does not work. So a tripod is definitely 100% necessary to do this. But once you have it set up on the tripod and once you have your framing correct, all you're gonna wanna do is get a focus point selected. And if you can see that little box that I'm moving around down below. So you're gonna take a photo focusing on the bottom here of the screen. Snap that photo. Then what I do is I do 1, 2, and then I snap another photo. And then I'll do it again, 1, 2, snap another photo. 1, 2, and snap our last photo. You're just basically focusing on every single section of the image. And then I'm gonna take some more photos with some different framing, maybe go to some more spots, but that is the whole step-by-step process. So I will see you back at the house with a few more different shots of a few different locations, but those are the steps that I am taking. All right, so I just got back to the house, so I'm gonna go ahead and import the photos and then open them up in Lightroom. So the entire process is pretty much done in Photoshop, but the reason that I open them in Lightroom is to just make it easier for me to select which photos I'm actually going to use for the focus stack. Alright, so now that we have everything imported, I've actually already gone ahead and starred the ones that I'm going to use for this. So we're just going to go ahead and select all of the ones that we want to use for this. And then I'm going to go over here to develop. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to change the crop. So my camera shoots standard 16:9, so we'll do that, and we'll just change it to original so we get the full frame of the image. And then we're going to scroll down to here and go to remove chromatic aberration and enable profile corrections, and it's basically just gonna correct the photo. And all you want to do is just make sure you have whatever lens you use selected here. So I use the 16:35 to shoot these photos, so I have that selected. And then as you can see, I still have all these selected, so make sure that they're selected, and then I'm going to push sync, and it's going to give you an option to select whatever settings you want, and all we've changed was the crop and those profile corrections, so none of this other stuff really matters. So we're just going to go ahead and press synchronize, and as you can see, that was really quick. So now you can see all of these photos have the same lens corrections and the same crop on them. And then the next step is to go up here to Photo, Edit in, and Open as Layers in Photoshop. Depending on how many photos you have and how big of a file they are is really what determines how long these photos will take to import, but it's usually not too terribly long. Alright, so once you have the photos in Photoshop and you can see all of them in this right hand corner, what you're going to do is you're going to want to select all of them, so you can just Command plus. So once you have all of them selected, we're going to go up here to Edit and Auto Align Layers. just leave this on auto. Okay. And this will take a little bit of time, again, depending on how big of files they are and how many files you have. Alright, so it's aligned all of our layers here. And as you can see, there's some white strips around it. But I'm going to go ahead and fix that once we get back into Lightroom in the next step. Now, we're going to go back up to Edit, make sure all of these are still selected, and go to Auto Blend Layers. And then we're going to go to Stack Images and make sure these two boxes are checked as well. And this usually doesn't take as long as the last step, but again, it just depends on what files you're working with. Alright, so it just finished merging, and now you should be able to see that every step of the way is in focus. And sometimes some weird stuff happens. So for example, like there were these people walking, and as I was taking photos, you know, they were getting further away, so they show up a couple times in the frame. And there's a super easy way to fix that, which is just content aware fill and then clone stamping them out of it, which doesn't take too terribly long. And then same with this car. So sometimes there are weird things like that, it seems like. So I'm gonna go ahead and Photoshop those people out. But before I do that, I'm going to go over here to this right side again, left click or control click, and just go merge visible. And that's just going to put all of them into one layer. Alright, so we've got our one layer, and then I'm just going to go ahead and Photoshop this stuff out real quick. Alright, so I'm going to call that good. And then our next step is just to go up here to File and click Save. And you can see it's saving, and what this is going to do is this is just going to put it directly back into Lightroom. Alright, so now we've got our final photo. Everything is in focus. We can see it's perfectly sharp all the way around, from these rocks up there to down here, and everywhere in between. I'm going to just go ahead and quickly put some final edits on this photo. Alright, well I think I'm probably going to call this photo good right about here. But yeah, honestly, all in all, like, these turned out pretty good. It's kind of fun to just try different things with photography. And this is something, like I said earlier, I've never even done before, at least to this extent. I hope you guys try it out, kind of see what you can do with it yourself. So I think that's pretty much it, but I'll be back with another video on Wednesday. So I'll talk to you guys then. Later.